Hello YouTube. How's everybody doing? Hope good. This is a first review of the Anycubic i3 Mega from Gearbest. I got it at Gearbest. It was $360 on a flash sale. And so far I'm really happy. There's a lot of little things I'm impressed with this printer. This is the Ultrabase model. So it has the glass-like base as opposed to a bed mat. And when it cools completely, the print literally just comes off. It doesn't pop off, it doesn't scrape off. I haven't used a scraper yet, and I haven't used a single bit of force or tension in order to be able to remove the print. You just lift it up as if you sat it there. It's really pretty impressive. The accessory kit that comes with it was also pretty impressive. They give you a heck of a scraper, one of the best ones I've ever seen in terms of thickness, stiffness, construction, nice beveled edge, but there's no reason for it. I haven't used the scraper once. You get a nice set of nippers, nice sharp set of nippers, thumb drive key, SD card, micro SD with an adapter, but this is the impressive part here. Now you get your normal tool set, so dump everything out. But look at this, an entire replacement hot end with heater and thermistor. I mean, I'm amazed. I've seen nozzles, I saw a thermistor on a couple printers, and I've seen some spare Bowden, but I've never seen an entire assembled hot end. Pretty impressive. Rubber gloves, okay, no big deal. This was also impressive. An extra end stop. Another thing I haven't seen. 5 printers, I've yet to see anybody include an extra end stop. So that's pretty impressive. They include a spool holder out of the box. It does use this little teeny shaft diameter, so you have to print some sort of an adapter for it. But I printed that spool holder adapter on this printer, and it came out pretty nice, I must say. For a printer that didn't take much adjusting, it prints really nice out of the box. I'm not big on the Z adjustment. You have to hit 2 Phillips screws back here and back here that come through behind this and push the Z stops. So you have to adjust those with a Phillips, and they're these big long screws. I think they could have done a better job on the design with that, but it does work. So it took a smidge of tinkering to get it right. The bed stays perfectly level. I haven't had to touch it once since I built the printer, and it stays so level because you don't have to scrape the prints off. So you never end up compressing the springs and you don't screw up the bed level. That's pretty impressive. This unit does come with the filament sensor. I'm running the filament through it now. However, the filament sensor keeps wanting to pull off of its magnetic mount. So I've printed a new one but have yet to fit it. I'll likely change that sensor into a new housing that attaches to the side of the printer so it can't move. The other thing to remember is if you want to use the filament out sensor, you actually have to populate the G-code section for pause and resume and filament change in your slicer or in your Octoprint, for example. But without that G-code there, the filament out sensor isn't going to do anything but stop the print. The nozzle's not going to move, you won't be able to feed a new filament in, etc. So just remember that if you get any printer with a filament out sensor and want to use it, you need the appropriate start and stop G-code. Anyhow, on the Anycubic, this unit actually came with a serial number and a proper CE electronics tag. So I was impressed with that. It comes with a readily accessible 220 to 110 power switch. You don't have to open the unit up. And the 2 bolts there that are vertical next to it, there's 2 there. There's 2 behind it, and then on the other side there's 4 more. That's the only assembly you have to do. You stick 8 bolts in, and then you come over and plug 3 wires into the other side. So you come over here, and there's 3 wires. One's for the filament sensor, one is for the gantry, and one is for the Z motor, Z steppers. So in terms of mods, I did print a cable holder mod. The link is below. I think that's essential. They were only using a zip tie to hold the hotbed cables to that spring. I didn't like that at all. Another thing I like, see that light? The bed actually has an LED on it, and it lights up when it's heating. So it just cycled on the heat, heated the bed, and then the LED went off. I think that's kind of cool. Same with the end stops. Their end stops have LEDs and light up when depressed. Thought that was kind of impressive. This unit has dual Z. So this kind of gives you a shot of the backside of it, but it has dual Z motors. There's the CE label that I was explaining, the consumer electronics with a serial number. So, in terms of, over here, I'll give you a shot. You can barely see it because I got filament there, but the SD card and the USB port is across the other side. Now, as all my printers, I'm using Octoprint on this, so I don't use the touchscreen too much, but it is a nice touchscreen menu. The screen's pretty responsive. I was pretty happy with that. Another feature this printer comes with is a filament, not filament out. I'm sorry, I already covered that. Another feature this printer comes with is a power loss resume. Now, two things with the power loss resume. What it's intended to do is if you have a blackout, you can resume right from where you were and not lose your print. That's the design intention. So you need to use start, pause, resume at least, G-code for that to work correctly. So the same as with the filament out sensor, which is why I said filament out sensor. I was thinking about the G-code. So you still have to put appropriate G-code, the same as a filament out sensor, for pause, resume, for it to work properly coming off of a power outage. But here's the other issue. With the Ultrabase, the bed surface releases so well that if your power goes out for more than a minute or two, you're not resuming it anyway, because the print's going to pop right off the bed and you won't be able to resume. So that's the caveat with this great Ultrabase. You give up the ability to resume during a power loss for anything past a few minutes. Now in my case, I'm running a UPS on this, so I already have about 30 minutes of protection built in should something happen. So I'm not too worried about it. I knew going in that with the Ultrabase, that was going to be, even though they advertised the power loss feature, it's useless if your power's gone for too long. So, now, on this printer right now, I'm printing my first attempt at wood. I picked up a roll of Ziltech wood PLA, and of course I'm printing the obligatory Baby Groot, although I scaled it down by 50% because I wanted a quicker print, not a 17-hour print that the high poly Groot was. So far it's coming out pretty good. I see a touch of stringing. I see I'll need to tweak retraction just a hair. But all of the prints off of this thing have come out amazing. One of the other things that I've been most impressed with is this printer bridges out of the box better than any other printer I have so far. I do have the Delta. The Delta seems like it may bridge better, but I'm still tweaking the Delta and working on some things, so I can't really say. I'm sure the Anycubic bridges better than the Ender 2, bridges better than my Monoprice, and better than the Tevo Tornado stock. However, the other thing I'll say, the downside of that is, there are far less mods available for the Anycubic i3 Mega. So there's less cooling mods, less filament holders, all of your obligatory mods that we all print for every new printer. There's a much less selection out there. There's some nice ones, but I've yet to find a good top-mounted filament holder. I'm not even big on the filament holder that I'm using right there. That's not my favorite. It kind of droops. It's got a droop to it that I don't like. However, it's doing the job. So, all in all, it's a really nice printer. It was a 5-minute assembly. Again, I'm super impressed with the spares that they included with it. Would I buy it again? Absolutely, at this point. I've had not an issue with it. I had one failed print in the very beginning, just because I had to adjust those screws for the Z-stops to get the nozzle a little bit closer to the bed. Other than that, it just prints really, really nice. So, I have to recommend it at this point. I will do a longer-term review, as I'm coming up soon for the Tornado and then the Ender after that, where after a good couple months of use, we'll talk about what it cost, any issues I had, and is it worth it. But so far, I'm really impressed with the out-of-box performance of the Anycubic i3 Mega. It's a 205 by 205 by 200 build volume. So it's not huge. I'd call it a medium-sized printer. I do like the fact that all of the electronics are integrated into the base. So because of that, you free up your some desk space. It doesn't take as much room. Okay, I hope you guys like my review. I'll be posting more. The next one coming is the Flsun QQ Delta. And after that, we'll be doing teaser shot, because I've added some colors, and we'll be doing a filament review video. And then after that, I had a user request video. Somebody wanted a one video with all the tweaking and mods required for the Tevo Tornado to get it to print the way that it prints today. So, quick glance over here. What's printing? Well, I'm printing an orange tiki cup for the filament video on the Ender 2. And the Tevo Tornado is printing some replacement parts. I found a green that matches the Tornado much better than the original pale green that you see up on the filament guide and on the screw through the spool holder. This other green is a much better match, and at the same time I'm replacing the purple. Initially I was going to go all purple with this printer, and then changed my mind, decided to stay green, and I'm in the middle. So I'm printing all new mods for this printer to convert it to the, what I call the Kawasaki green. It's not really Kawasaki green. I think they call it peak green, but it looks pretty close to the Kawasaki green. And I'll be installing all those mods on there, as well as printing a new parts cooling fan, finally, on the Tornado. I'll be using the Pets Fang. The link is below. This guy, David, designed this amazing fan mod that works on the CR10, the Ender 2, and the Tevo Tornado, with stock hot ends, micro Swiss, or E3D. And he has variations of each part. It also supports BL Touch and Easy ABL from TH3D. Now, he designed the duct with the help of a hayvac engineer. So the duct uses and relies on the concept of static pressure, and because of that, it's far more efficient and does a better job of putting only as much air as needs to be there and only where the air needs to be, unlike other duct designs and fan duct designs. So, last shot of the Anycubic. Again, very happy with it. I have to recommend it at this point. Okay, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to be notified on our future videos, and have a good one.